Part 1. The stars look different from here. Han Jiwoo pressed her forehead against the cold window of the horizon's edge and stared at the planet below. Velkara Prime, a world of purple forest and silver mountains. Somewhere down there, an alien species was waiting to meet humanity for the first time. She pulled out her phone and scrolled through her photos to calm her nerves. Pictures of her apartment back on Earth, her mom's garden. And cats, so many cats. Videos of Mr. Whiskers attacking a feather toy. Chairman Meow knocking a cup off the counter. Princess Fluffington asleep in a sunbeam. Jiwoo had thousands of them saved. It was a harmless hobby. A way to relax after long shifts monitoring deep space communications. The intercom crackled. Landing team, report to shuttle bay in 10 minutes. Jiwoo took a deep breath and pocketed her phone. Time to make history. The shuttle descended through pink clouds. Captain Lee Minho sat in the pilot seat, his jaw tight with concentration. Behind him, 6 crew members checked their equipment. They were diplomats, scientists, linguists. Jiwoo was there because someone needed to handle communications if the translation software failed. The Velkari settlement appeared below them. Dome-shaped buildings made of white stone, narrow streets, and people. No, not people, aliens, the Velkari. They landed in a clearing outside the settlement. A group of Velkari waited for them. They stood on 2 legs like humans, but that was where the similarity ended. They had fur in shades of gray and brown, large eyes with vertical pupils, ears that swiveled and twitched, tails that moved with their emotions. They looked like someone had taken a cat and stretched it into a human shape. The leader stepped forward, tall and broad-shouldered with silver fur and scars across his muzzle. "I am Kovan," he said through the translation device. His voice was deep and rough. "Welcome to Velkara Prime," Captain Minho bowed. "Thank you for receiving us. We come in peace," the formal speeches began. Jiwoo tried to pay attention, but her mind wandered. The Velkari warriors stood so still, so serious. Their tails barely moved. Everything about them seemed controlled and disciplined. After an hour, the delegation moved inside the main hall. More speeches. More formal exchanges. Jiwoo's feet hurt from standing. She quietly slipped outside for a break. The air smelled strange here, sweet like flowers but with something sharp underneath. Twin suns hung low in the sky, casting double shadows. Jiwoo found a bench carved from white stone and sat down. She pulled out her phone and opened her favorite video. A ginger cat trying to fit into a box way too small for it. She smiled. A small sound made her look up. A young Velkari stood a few meters away, much smaller than the adults. A child, Jiwoo realized, a cub. The little one had light brown fur and enormous eyes filled with curiosity. "Hello," Jiwoo said softly. The cub tilted its head. "Hello," the translation device repeated in a high, sweet voice. The cub took a step closer, then another. Its eyes fixed on the glowing rectangle in Jiwoo's hands. Jiwoo glanced at the doorway. Should she call someone? But the cub looked so curious, so harmless. She made a decision that would change everything. "Want to see?" Jiwoo asked, patting the bench beside her. The cub scrambled up and sat down, tail wrapping around its feet. Jiwoo angled the phone so they could both see. On screen, the ginger cat finally squeezed into the box, looking incredibly pleased with itself. The cub gasped. Its ears shot straight up. "What is that?" "A cat," Jiwoo said. "They're animals from my planet. We keep them as companions. It moves like—" The cub's voice trailed off. "Show me more." Jiwoo scrolled through her videos. A tabby cat stalking a toy mouse. A black cat leaping onto a counter. A fluffy white cat grooming its paw. With each video, the cub leaned closer. Its tail began to move, swishing back and forth with excitement. "This one hunts," the cub said, pointing at a video of a cat pouncing. "But small." "So small?" "Yes, they're small predators," Jiwoo explained. "But they live in our homes. We take care of them." The cub's eyes went wide. "You captured warriors? Keep them as prisoners?" Jiwoo laughed. No. They choose to live with us. We give them food and comfort. They give us companionship. Love." The concept seemed to confuse the cub, but it couldn't stop watching. Jiwoo showed video after video. Cats playing with string. Cats sleeping in ridiculous positions. Cats making weird chirping sounds at birds through windows. The cub made a small noise. Almost like a purr. "They are beautiful. What's your name?" Jiwoo asked. "Tara. I'm Jiwoo. Nice to meet you, Tara." They sat together for what felt like minutes but must have been longer. The twin suns moved across the sky. Tara watched every video with complete focus, occasionally asking questions. Why does it knock things down? Why does it sit in water bowl? Why does it make that sound? Jiwoo answered as best she could, though honestly she didn't always understand cats either. That was part of their charm. A sharp voice cut through the air. Tara, they both jumped. Kovan stood in the doorway, his expression dark. He strode toward them with quick, angry steps. Tara shrank back, ears flattening against its head. I am sorry, Tara whispered to Jiwoo. I was not supposed to leave. Kovan reached them and pulled Tara behind him protectively. He glared at Jiwoo. What have you done to the cub? Nothing, Jiwoo said quickly, standing up. We were just talking. I was showing Tara some videos from Earth. Videos? Kovan's eyes narrowed. What trick is this? No trick, just pictures that move. Here, look. Jiwoo held out her phone. Kovan's hand moved to the weapon at his belt, but his eyes caught the screen. A gray cat was sprawled on a couch, belly up, paws in the air, absolutely dead asleep. Kovan froze. His ears twitched forward. His tail, which had been lashing angrily, slowed and then stopped. He stared at the screen. What is this creature? His voice had changed. Softer now, almost reverent. It's a cat, Jiwoo said. From Earth. The video changed automatically. Now it showed an orange tabby in a sunbeam. Eyes closed, paw twitching as it dreamed. Kovan watched without blinking. His tail began to move again, but different this time. A slow, hypnotic sway. This is... Kovan seemed unable to find words. More Velkari appeared from the hall. They must have noticed their leader had not returned. One of them, a female with dark fur, called out. Kovan, is everything well? But Kovan didn't answer. He was still staring at the phone. The female approached and looked at the screen. She went completely still. By the ancient mothers, she whispered. Another warrior joined them. Then another. Within minutes, 6 adult Velkari stood around Jiwoo's phone, watching a compilation of cats doing absolutely nothing interesting. Just existing. Just being cats, none of them spoke. They barely seemed to breathe. Their tails moved in unison, swaying like grass in wind. Captain Minho appeared in the doorway. Jiwoo, what's going on out here? He saw the crowd and his expression changed to confusion. Is there a problem? No problem, sir, Jiwoo said. They're just watching cat videos. Cat videos. Minho repeated slowly, like the words didn't make sense together. Elder Hana pushed through the crowd. She was the oldest Velkari present, her fur white with age. She looked at the phone, then at Jiwoo, then back at the phone. Explain these creatures, Hana commanded. Now. Part 2. The council chamber felt too small now. 20 Velkari elders sat in a circle, all watching a single phone screen. Jiwoo stood in the center, trying not to panic. This wasn't how first contact was supposed to go. Elder Hana held the phone carefully like it might break. On screen, a black and white cat was batting at a ball of yarn. The elders leaned forward as one. You say these cats live in your homes, Hana said. They do not serve you? Not exactly, Jiwoo tried to explain. It's more like, we serve them. We give them food, shelter, medical care. They mostly just exist. A younger council member named Taman spoke up. But they hunt. We saw them stalk and pounce. These are hunter behaviors. They used to hunt for survival, Jiwoo said, thousands of years ago. Now they hunt for fun, for play. We give them toy mice and feather wands. The concept hung in the air. Play. The word seemed foreign in this chamber. Another elder, an old male with gray fur, shook his head. Predators who do not need to hunt. Warriors at rest. He paused. This is what we dream of in the old stories. Hana played another video. A tabby cat was sprawled in a window, sunlight warming its fur. It yawned, showing small sharp teeth, then went back to sleep. Show us more, Hana said. It wasn't a request. Jiwoo's phone battery was at 15%. I have thousands more, she said. But my device needs power soon. The elders exchanged glances. Hana called out in their language. A young Velkari ran from the room. Minutes later, a female with copper-colored fur entered. She carried tools and devices. This is Bora, Hana said. Our best engineer. Can you fix this? Bora took the phone gently. She examined it from all angles, her whiskers twitching. Different technology. But power is power. I can make something work, she looked at Jiwoo. How long? A few hours, Jiwoo admitted. Bora's tail lashed once. I will do it in one. She left quickly, phone in hand. The elders looked disappointed. One of them, a warrior with scars across his muzzle, stood up. While we wait, human Jiwoo, tell us about these cats, everything. So Jiwoo talked. She told them how cats had domesticated themselves thousands of years ago, moving into human settlements to hunt mice, how humans had welcomed them, how cats had become symbols in human cultures, gods in ancient Egypt, luck in Japan, companions everywhere. The Velkari listened like children hearing their favorite story. They asked questions. So many questions. Do they purr? Yes. Do they bring you prey? Sometimes. Do they choose one person or serve the whole family? They choose, but loyalty varies. Can they love? Jiwoo paused. Yes, in their own way. They're independent, but they can form deep bonds. Taemin stood up suddenly. We must see this purring. Is it in the videos? Some of them have sound, Jiwoo said. But we need the phone back first. Time crawled. The elders talked among themselves in their own language. Jiwoo caught words through the translator. Ancient ways. The old paths. Before the wars. Captain Minho appeared at the doorway. He looked stressed. Jiwoo, can I talk to you? Outside? In the hallway, Minho ran his hand through his hair. What did you do? The entire diplomatic schedule is derailed. They won't discuss trade. Won't tour the ship. They just want to talk about cats. I'm sorry, sir. I just showed a video to a cub. I didn't know they'd react like this. React? Minho laughed, but it sounded tired. They're obsessed. I just got a message from Earth Command asking why our first contact report mentions domestic animals instead of cultural exchange protocols. What should I do? Minho sighed. Just keep doing what you're doing, I guess. They're engaged. They're interested. That's more than most first contacts achieve, he paused. Earth Command also wants to know if you'll send some of those videos to the diplomatic archive. For research purposes. You mean they want to see the cat videos too? I didn't say that. But Minho was smiling now. Bora emerged from a side room, triumphant. I have done it. She held up the phone, now connected to a strange device that glowed with blue light. Your power box is charging, see? Already 30%. That's amazing, Jiwoo said. How did you do it so fast? Bora's chest puffed with pride. I am very good at my work. She handed the phone back carefully. Now show me these cats. I have heard talking but seen nothing. This is unfair. They returned to the council chamber. The phone was at 45% now. Jiwoo pulled up a video with sound. A fluffy gray cat sitting on a lap, eyes half closed, rumbling loudly. The purring filled the room. Every Velkari went still. Their ears rotated toward the sound. Several of them made small noises in their throats. They were trying to mimic it. That is a happy sound, Bora asked. Usually, Jiwoo said. Cats purr when they're content. When they feel safe? Safe, Hana repeated. Not alert. Not ready for battle, just safe. The video changed. A kitten this time, tiny and fluffy, playing with its own tail. It spun in circles, pouncing on the tail, falling over, getting up and doing it again. Terra, who had been sitting quietly in the corner, made a sound. A laugh, maybe, or the Velkari version of one. Other young Velkari joined Terra, watching from the edges of the room. They'd been so quiet Jiwoo hadn't noticed them. An older warrior stood up. He was massive, with dark fur and cold eyes. This is foolishness, he said. His voice cut through the room like a blade. We are Velkari. We are warriors. We conquered this world through strength. And now we sit here watching videos of tiny soft creatures. He pointed at Jiwoo. This human makes us weak. Several elders nodded. Others looked uncertain. Hana raised her hand for silence. War Chief Doyen speaks from tradition, Hana said, and tradition has kept us alive. But tell me, Doyen, when did you last see our cubs play? Doyen's jaw tightened. They train, as they should. They drill, Hana corrected. They practice killing. They learn to fight before they learn to live. She looked at the young ones gathered at the edges. I have led this tribe for 40 seasons. I have kept us strong. But strong is not the same as alive. These cats, Taemin added, they show us something we forgot. The joy of the hunt, the play that sharpens skills. They are predators, yes, but they have not lost the happiness of being alive. Doyen's tail lashed. You would have us become soft, weak? There are predators on this world that would destroy us. I would have us remember, Hana said softly, that we fight to live, not live to fight. The tension was thick. Jiwoo felt like she'd started something she couldn't control. But then Tara stood up. The little cub walked to the center of the circle, right next to Jiwoo. I want to see more videos, Tara said. The cub's voice was small but clear. They make me feel... I don't have words. But good, warm inside. Is that wrong? Doyen looked at the cub for a long moment. His expression softened slightly. No, little one. It is not wrong to feel, he turned to Hana. But feelings do not stop claws. They do not turn away danger. Perhaps not, Hana agreed. But they give us reason to survive danger. What good is surviving if we forget how to live? More voices joined the debate. The council chamber filled with argument. Some sided with Doyun, others with Hana. The younger Velkari mostly stayed quiet, but their eyes kept drifting to the phone. Jiwoo's device buzzed. A message from the ship. The quantum relay was active. Earth's internet was now accessible here with only a few seconds of delay. An idea formed. Maybe a terrible idea, but maybe the only idea that could help. Elder Hana, Jiwoo said loudly. The arguing stopped. I have thousands of videos on my device, but Earth has millions more. Billions, maybe. If you want to truly understand cats, I can show you everything. The whole phenomenon. Hana's ears perked up. Everything? Everything. Doyen crossed his arms. This proves my point. The human offers addiction, a drug for the mind. Or, Jiwoo said carefully, a window into a different way of living. You don't have to choose one path or the other. Cats are both fierce and gentle. Hunters and companions. Maybe that balance is worth learning about. The chamber went quiet. Hana and Doyen stared at each other. Finally, Hana spoke. We will see these billions of videos, but not tonight. Tonight we feast. Tomorrow human Jiwoo will show us more of her world's cats, and we will decide together what this means for our people. It wasn't a perfect solution, but it was something. The council dispersed slowly, many of them reluctant to leave. Tara tugged on Jiwoo's sleeve. Thank you, the cub said. For sharing. You're welcome, Jiwoo replied. But I think I might have caused trouble. Good trouble, Tara said with certainty. The best kind. Part 3. The viewing hall was packed. Velkari filled every space, sitting on the floor, standing against walls, even perched on support beams near the ceiling. The quantum relay hummed, projecting a large screen where everyone could see. Jiwoo stood next to the projection equipment, suddenly nervous. Captain Minho had approved this presentation, but he'd looked worried when he did. Just remember, he'd said, you're representing all of humanity right now. No pressure. Elder Hana raised her hand. The crowd fell silent. Human Jiwoo has offered to show us more of Earth's cats. Let us watch with open minds and thoughtful hearts. Jiwoo started with the basics. She showed videos of different cat breeds. Big fluffy Persians, sleek Siamese, tiny Singapores, hairless Sphinx cats that made several Velkari gasp in surprise. So many types, Taman said. Are they different species? Same species, Jiwoo explained. Just different looks. Humans bred them for specific traits over hundreds of years. You shaped them. Bora leaned forward. Changed their forms. Through selective breeding, yes, but they're all still cats. They can all have kittens together if they wanted. The next section was Cats Being Cats, a compilation of classic internet cat behavior. Cats knocking cups off tables, cats sitting in boxes that were way too small, cats staring at walls for no reason, cats running around at 3 in the morning. The Velkari watched in silence. Then slowly sounds began. Small chirps of amusement, tail swishing. By the time a cat pushed an entire plant off a shelf for no reason, the whole room was making that chittering laugh sound. Why do they knock things down? Someone called out. We don't really know, Jiwoo admitted. Scientists think it might be instinct. Testing objects. Seeking attention. Or maybe they just think it's funny. A young Velkari named Yunji stood up. Can I ask something? These cats, they destroy things? And humans allow this? Well, we try to train them not to. But yes, mostly we just accept it. We love them anyway. The concept seemed to fascinate them. Loving something despite its flaws. Accepting behavior that wasn't useful or productive. Next, Jiwoo showed videos of cats with other animals. Cats cuddling with dogs. Cats befriending birds. A cat that had adopted a litter of orphaned ducklings and raised them as her own. Several Velkari made soft sounds at that one. Tara was crying. She cared for them. Different species. Not her cubs, but she loved them. Cats can be very nurturing, Jiwoo said. When they want to be. The mood shifted with the next category. Jiwoo hesitated, then decided to show it. Cats in human history. Images of Egyptian cat gods, Japanese lucky cat statues, medieval paintings with cats in them, cats on ships catching rats, cats in space programs, a cat that had lived in a library for years, cats that had become internet famous and earned their owners millions. They are important to you, Hana said. Not just pets. They are part of your culture, your stories, your history. Yes, Jiwoo said simply. War Chief Doyun, who had been standing in the back with his arms crossed, spoke up. Show us them hunting. Real hunting. Not toys, Jiwoo nodded. She'd prepared for this. She showed videos of cats hunting mice, birds, insects. The Velkari watched intently as a cat stalked, paused, wiggled its haunches, then pounced. That movement, a warrior said. The crouch, the patient wait. That is the old way. The way our ancestors hunted before we had weapons. Doyun stepped closer. Play the pounce again. Jiwoo replayed it in slow motion. The cat's body compressed like a spring. Every muscle prepared, then the explosive release. Perfect precision, efficient, Doyun admitted. No wasted movement. Energy saved until the final moment. He paused. These small hunters are skilled. Jiwoo took a risk. Want to see the big cats? She pulled up videos of lions, tigers, leopards, panthers, cheetahs. The Velkari went absolutely silent. A lioness took down a wildebeest. A tiger defended its territory. A leopard dragged prey up a tree. These are cats too? Bora breathed. Same as the small ones. Same family, Jiwoo said. The house cats are smaller, but they share ancestors with these big predators. They have the same instincts, the same behaviors, just in a smaller package. The implications hit the room like a wave. The tiny, soft creatures they'd been watching weren't weak at all. They were apex predators that had simply evolved past needing to hunt for survival. Show the small one again, Doyun commanded. The orange one that was sleeping in the sun. Jiwoo found the video. The fat orange tabby, belly up, completely relaxed. Doyun stared at it. This creature carries the soul of the tiger, the blood of hunters, but it chooses rest. It chooses trust. Because it has won, it has conquered so completely that it no longer needs to fight. The room stayed quiet. Everyone was processing this new understanding. Elder Hana spoke carefully. We have survived through strength, through constant vigilance. We sleep with one eye open. We train our cubs in combat before they learn to read, because this world is harsh, because we must be harder. She looked at the screen. But what if we are strong enough now? What if we have won our battles? What if we could choose to rest? And if new battles come? Doyun challenged. Then we fight, Hana said. As the house cat can still hunt when needed. As the tiger can still kill. But we do not live every moment in battle stance. Yoonji raised her hand shyly. May I show something? At Hana's nod, Yoonji pulled out a rolled hide. She unrolled it to reveal a painting. A Velkari cub and a cat side by side, both sleeping in sunlight. The style was traditional Velkari art, but with something new. Something softer. I made this last night, Yoonji said. After seeing the videos, I could not stop thinking about it. About rest. About peace. About the beauty in small moments. Other young Velkari came forward. They had drawings too, cats in Velkari style, mixing the old geometric patterns with new flowing forms, tails curled into spirals, ears forming protective symbols. You are creating new art, Hana said, wonder in her voice, new expressions. This has not happened in generations. An older Velkari, a teacher named Soman, stood up. Our cubs have been different today. During training exercises, they played. Actually played. One stalked another the way the cats stalk in the videos. They laughed. They enjoyed the exercise instead of just enduring it. That is lack of discipline, Doyun said, but his voice lacked conviction. That is remembering why we fight, Soman countered. We fight to protect our people, our cubs. But what are we protecting if there is no joy? No play, no art? The debate started again, but different this time. Less angry. More thoughtful. Voices overlapped as Velkari discussed what they'd seen. What it meant. What it could mean. Jiwoo stepped back and let them talk. Captain Minho appeared beside her. You started a cultural revolution with cat videos, he said. Earth Command is never going to believe this. I just showed them videos, sir. You showed them an alternative. A different way of being strong. Minho smiled. The Federation has made contact with 47 species. Most of those relationships are about trade, resources, technology. This is the first one that might be about philosophy, about learning to live, not just survive. A commotion near the entrance caught their attention. A scout rushed in, breathing hard. Spoke quickly to Doyun in their language. Doyun's expression darkened. He turned to face the crowd. The Great Hunt is in 3 days. This is tradition. This is law. Every generation, our finest hunters track the most dangerous prey on Velkara. We do this to prove our strength, to honor our ancestors, to remember that survival is not given, it is earned. He looked directly at the young Velkari who had been showing their art. Anyone who wishes to continue watching these videos, anyone who wishes to embrace this softness, they must first prove themselves in the Great Hunt. Show me that you can appreciate rest because you have earned it, not because you are weak. Tara stood up. I will join the Great Hunt. You are too young, Doyun said. I am old enough to hold a spear, old enough to want rest when I have earned it. I will hunt, Yunji stood. I will join too, Taemin, Bora, Soman. One by one, the younger Velkari stood. Not in defiance, in acceptance. We do not reject tradition, Taemin said. We honor it. But we want to add something new, something the cats teach us, that warriors can also rest. That strength includes knowing when to be gentle. Doyun looked at them all, finally nodded. 3 days. Prepare yourselves. As the crowd dispersed, Tara approached Jiwoo. Will you come? To watch the Great Hunt? If I'm allowed, you must, Tara said. You showed us the cats. Now see what we can become because of them. Part 4. The wilderness beyond the settlement was nothing like the city. Purple trees with silver bark stretched toward the sky. The ground was covered in blue moss that glowed faintly in the shadows. Strange bird calls echoed through the forest, and somewhere out there was the prey. Jiwoo walked beside Elder Hana. The old Velkari moved quietly despite her age. Behind them, Captain Minho and 2 other human crew members followed with recording equipment. Doyun had insisted they document this. Let Earth see what Velkari tradition means, he'd said. The hunting party was ahead. 12 young Velkari, including Tara, Yunji, Taemin, and Bora. They wore light armor made of leather and metal. Each carried weapons, spears, bows, knives. They'd spent 3 days preparing, training, planning. Doyun led them, along with 3 experienced warriors who would observe but not interfere. This was the youngsters' hunt. They would succeed or fail on their own. What exactly are they hunting? Jiwoo asked quietly. Thornclaws, Hana said. 6-legged predators with armored hide. Fast, intelligent, vicious. They hunt in packs and remember those who hurt them. Killing one is difficult. Surviving one is an achievement. The young ones must drive a Thornclaw away from the settlement's territory, or kill it if they cannot. That sounds incredibly dangerous. It is. That is the point, Hana's tail swished. For generations we have sent our youth on this hunt. Many are injured, some die. It is how we prove ourselves ready for adulthood. Jiwoo felt sick. And you're okay with this? Hana was quiet for a long moment. I have led this tribe for 40 seasons. I have sent many young ones to hunt. I have mourned those who did not return. She looked at Jiwoo. Your cats hunt for play now, but once they hunted to survive. The transition was not instant. It took thousands of years. We are still learning that our world might allow us softness, but we are not there yet. The hunting party stopped. Doyun raised his fist. Everyone crouched low. Through the trees, Jiwoo could see movement. Something big, something with too many legs. The Thornclaw emerged into a clearing. It was massive. Easily 3 meters long with gray-green scales and spikes along its spine. 6 powerful legs ending in claws that dug into the earth. Its head was broad and flat, with eyes on the sides and a mouth full of serrated teeth. It was terrifying. The young Velkari spread out silently, taking positions around the clearing. They moved with careful precision. Jiwoo recognized the pattern. They were surrounding it, creating a perimeter. Tara was the smallest, taking a position behind a large tree. Yunji went left, bow ready. Taemin went right with a spear. Bora climbed a tree carrying a net weighted with stones. Doyun watched from the shadows. He did not move to help. This was their trial. The Thornclaw sensed something. Its head swiveled, nostrils flaring. It took a step forward, claws clicking on stone. Taman threw first, not his spear but a rock. It hit the ground near the Thornclaw's feet. The creature spun toward the sound, aggressive and fast. Yunji loosed an arrow. It struck the Thornclaw's shoulder, bouncing off the armored hide. The creature roared and charged toward Yunji, but Yunji was already moving, running perpendicular to the charge. The Thornclaw followed, then suddenly stopped, confused. Another rock hit its flank from a different direction. Jiwoo realized what they were doing. They weren't trying to kill it directly. They were confusing it, redirecting it. Multiple small attacks from different directions. It was exactly what cats did. Confuse prey, make them waste energy, attack from unexpected angles. The Thornclaw spun in circles, trying to track multiple targets. Bora dropped the net from above. It caught on the creature's spikes but didn't fully cover it. Close enough. The Thornclaw roared and thrashed, trying to shake free. Terra darted in with shocking speed. The cub moved low and fast, exactly like a cat pouncing. Terra's knife flashed, cutting through the net where it tangled in the Thornclaw's legs, not attacking the creature, just freeing it slightly, giving it an exit. The Thornclaw pulled free and ran, not toward the settlement but away from it, into deeper wilderness. The young Velkari didn't chase. They let it go. Silence filled the clearing. Then Doyen stepped out of the shadows. Explain, he commanded. Taman spoke first. The Thornclaw was near our territory but not in it. Killing it would bring its pack seeking revenge. Driving it away achieves the goal with less risk. We confused it, Yunji added. Made it think we were everywhere, that we were too much trouble. It chose to leave. The small cut Terra made, Bora said, freed its leg from the net. It could have died there, tangled and starving. This way it lives, learns we are dangerous, and tells its pack through scent. They will avoid this area. Doyen's expression was unreadable. You saw this in the cat videos? This strategy? Not exactly, Terra said quietly. But cats use efficiency. They do not waste energy. They confuse prey. They strike from unexpected angles. They know when to fight and when to walk away. We adapted those ideas. Also, Taman added with a small smile, the Thornclaw was kind of funny when it got confused, like the cat that gets startled by a cucumber. Several of the young Velkari made that chittering laugh sound. Even some of the experienced warriors smiled. Doyen stared at them all. Then, shockingly, he laughed. A real laugh, deep and genuine. I thought you would fail. I thought this softness, this cat obsession, would make you weak. He shook his head. Instead, you found a better way. You adapted. You thought creatively. You achieved the goal with less bloodshed. He turned to Elder Hana. I was wrong. Hana walked into the clearing. She touched each young Velkari on the shoulder. You have passed the great hunt, not through traditional means, but through innovation. This is also valuable, perhaps more valuable. The celebration was subdued but real. The young ones hadn't just survived. They'd proven something new. As they walked back to the settlement, Doyen fell into step beside Jiwoo. Your cats, he said. They have taught my people something I could not. What's that? That tradition and innovation are not enemies. That we can honor the old ways while creating new ones. That strength has many forms, he paused. Also, those videos of cats falling off things are very funny. I watched many last night. Jiwoo tried not to smile, failed. Which was your favorite? The one where the cat tries to jump to a shelf and miscalculates. Falls into a box. Pretends it meant to do that. Doyen's tail swished with amusement. That cat has warrior pride. Back at the settlement, news of the successful hunt spread quickly. But more surprising was what happened next. The young Velkari didn't just return to normal life. They started changing things. Yunji painted a large mural on the main hall wall. It showed Velkari and cats together, blending traditional geometric patterns with flowing natural shapes. Others helped. By nightfall, the entire wall was covered in art. Training exercises changed. Cubs still learned combat, but now play was incorporated. Stalking games, bouncing competitions, exercises that built skills through enjoyment rather than just discipline. Someone set up a permanent screen in the central square. Velkari gathered there in the evenings to watch cat videos together. They'd bring food, sit with family, laugh together. Salman started teaching a class on rest theory, how to recognize when you were tired, how to actually relax, how to enjoy peaceful moments. The class was packed. Bora built a device that could download and store Earth's internet videos locally. So we are not dependent on the relay, she explained. Now we have a permanent library of cats. Tara showed Jiwoo something special. A small carved figure, a cat, done in Velkari style. I made this for you, Tara said. Thank you for sharing your world with us. Jiwoo held the carving carefully. It was beautiful. Simple but perfect. Thank you, Tara, this means a lot. Will you stay? Tara asked. Keep teaching us about Earth? For a while. But eventually I have to go back to my ship, my home. Then we will visit Earth someday. See these cats in person. Learn more from your people. It wasn't a child's fantasy. It was a promise. A real commitment to continued exchange. That evening, Elder Hana called a formal council meeting. The hall was full. Every adult Velkari attended. The human crew was invited too. Hana stood in the center. 3 days ago, we were one people. Today we are still Velkari, but we are also changed. These humans brought us more than technology or trade. They brought us a mirror, a reflection of what we could become. She gestured to the painted walls, the gathered cubs playing a stalking game in the corner, the relaxed postures of warriors who yesterday stood rigid. We vote tonight on a proposal to join the Human Federation, not as subjects, not as allies in war, but as cultural partners, to learn from each other, to grow together, to explore what it means to be strong enough to choose gentleness. The vote was not immediate. Velkari spoke up, sharing opinions. Some worried about losing tradition. Others were excited for new possibilities. Doyen spoke for balance. We do not abandon who we are. We add to it. We become more, not less. When the vote came, it was nearly unanimous. The Velkari would join the Federation. Captain Minho stood. On behalf of Earth and the Federation, we accept. And we promise to learn from you as much as you learn from use exchanged. And on the big screen in the square, a continuous loop of cat videos played. Jiwoo sat with Tara, watching a compilation of cats and babies being friends. Do you think, Tara asked, we could really get some real cats here? To live with us? Maybe, Jiwoo said. Part 5, 3 months later, Jiwoo sat in her quarters aboard the Horizon's Edge, preparing her final report. The ship would leave Velkara Prime tomorrow. Her time here was ending. She pulled up her files. Thousands of photos, videos, interviews. The story of how a single phone full of cat videos had changed an entire civilization. Earth Command still didn't quite believe it. But the evidence was overwhelming. A message appeared on her screen. Elder Hana requesting a final meeting. Jiwoo saved her work and headed to the shuttle. The settlement looked different now. The stark white buildings had color. Murals everywhere. Not just cats but other Earth animals too. Velkari had become obsessed with otters after Jiwoo showed them a video. And penguins. And red pandas. Each animal teaching them something new about survival and joy existing together. The central square had been rebuilt. It was now a gathering place with comfortable seating, shade structures, and 3 large screens for viewing videos. Velkari of all ages lounged there now, some watching content, others talking. Cubs playing nearby while adults supervised without hovering. The change was remarkable. The rigid military discipline had softened into something more balanced. Warriors still trained, but they also rested. They laughed. They created art. They spent time with family without guilt. Elder Hana met Jiwoo at the council hall. The old Velkari looked tired but happy, more peaceful than when they'd first met. Walk with me, Hana said. They walked through the settlement. Hana pointed out changes. A new garden where Velkari grew earth vegetables sent by the Federation. A meditation space inspired by human practices. A library where young Velkari studied not just combat tactics but also art, philosophy, and what Velkari called peaceful sciences. You have changed us, Hana said. In ways both large and small. Our cubs sleep better now. We have words for emotions we did not name before. We understand that a warrior needs rest as much as training. You changed yourselves, Jiwoo said. I just showed you some videos. You showed us permission, Hana corrected. Permission to want more than survival. To seek joy. To be soft when safe. This is a gift beyond measure. They reached the edge of the settlement. The wilderness stretched before them, beautiful and dangerous as always. I have something to show you, Hana said. She made a clicking sound. From the trees, Tara appeared. But Tara wasn't alone. With the young Velkari was a cat, an actual Earth cat, orange and white with green eyes and a confident walk. Jiwoo's mouth fell open. How? The Federation sent an ambassador, Hana said with amusement. Two, actually. This one is called Nacho. His companion, a female called Princess, is with Yunji. Nacho walked up to Jiwoo and rubbed against her leg, purring. She crouched down and petted him. He was real solid here. The Federation approve this? Jiwoo asked. With many rules, Terra said. They can only live in controlled environments. We must report on their health weekly. They cannot breed here yet, but yes, they sent them as, what did they call it? Cultural exchange ambassadors, Hana said, to see if Velkari and Earth cats can coexist safely. If the experiment succeeds, more may come. Jiwoo scratched Nacho behind the ears. He tilted his head into her hand, eyes half closed in bliss. How's it going so far? He is perfect, Terra said reverently. He teaches us so much just by existing. Watch. Terra pulled out a feather toy, dragged it across the ground. Nacho's pupils dilated. His body went low. Haunches wiggled. Then he pounced, catching the toy in his paws. Terra laughed with pure delight. See? The perfect hunt. Efficient, focused, but also playful. He does not need to kill the toy. He simply enjoys the chase. And when he is tired, Hana added, he finds sun and sleeps. No guilt, no shame, just rest when rest is needed. Our people watch him constantly, learning. They sat together in the grass, Nacho sprawled between them, grooming himself. It should have been absurd. Two aliens and a human watching a cat lick its paw, but it felt right, natural, like this had always been meant to happen. What will you do now? Jiwoo asked. After we leave? Continue learning, Hana said. The Federation has sent teachers, humans and others. They will help us understand more about balance, about building a society that honors both strength and gentleness. We are also sending some of our people to Earth, to study, to experience your world directly. Doyun is going, Terra said. He wants to visit a cat cafe. He has watched videos of them and is fascinated by the concept. Jiwoo tried to imagine War Chief Doyun surrounded by cats in a cafe. The mental image made her smile. I think he'll enjoy that. And you? Hana asked. What is next for human Jiwoo? Back to the ship. We're heading to another system, another first contact situation. Jiwoo paused, though I doubt it will be anything like this. You carry a gift, Hana said seriously. Not just in your device or your videos, but in your willingness to share joy, to show others that there are many ways to be strong. Do not lose that. As the twin suns set, casting purple and gold light across the landscape, Terra asked one more question. Will you remember us? Always, Jiwoo promised. You're the tribe that fell in love with cat videos. How could I forget? The next morning, the Horizon's Edge prepared to depart. Half the settlement came to say goodbye. Cubs pressed drawings into Jiwoo's hands. Adults gave her carved figures. Bora presented her with a updated phone charging device. For your travels. Yunji showed her a new painting. It depicted a human and a Velkari sitting side by side watching a cat sleep in the sun. This is us, Yunji said. This is what we learned. That peace is possible. That different species can understand each other through the smallest, simplest things. Captain Minho cleared his throat. We need to go. The launch window is closing. Jiwoo hugged Terra carefully. Thank you for being curious. For asking to see my phone that first day. Thank you for sharing, Terra replied. For not holding back your world from us. On the shuttle ride up, Jiwoo looked down at Velkara Prime. The settlement was tiny from here, but its impact was huge. The Federation had dozens of reports to file. Sociologists wanted to study what happened. Psychologists wanted to understand the cultural shift. Animal behaviorists wanted to analyze why cats resonated so deeply with the Velkari. But Jiwoo thought the answer was simpler than all that research. The Velkari had seen in cats what they'd buried in themselves. The ability to be fierce when needed but gentle when safe. To hunt with deadly precision but also to play without purpose. To be warriors who also knew how to nap in sunbeams. Cats had given them permission to be whole. Back on the Horizon's Edge, Jiwoo filed her final report. She kept it factual, detailed. But at the end she added a personal note. First contact takes many forms. Sometimes it's through trade agreements or military alliances. Sometimes it's through shared technology or scientific collaboration. And sometimes it's through showing someone a video of a cat fitting into a box. The Velkari did not need our weapons or our ships. They did not need our medicine or our resources. They needed a reminder that survival and joy are not opposites, that strength includes softness, that warriors also rest. We gave them cat videos. They gave us a profound lesson in how cultures can transform when given permission to change. I believe this relationship will be one of the Federation's most important, not because of what we trade, but because of what we teach each other about being alive. Also, War Chief Doyen has requested that Earth send more videos of the small bears that hold hands while floating. I have informed him these are called otters, and we have thousands of videos available. Cultural exchange continues. She sent the report and leaned back. Her phone buzzed. A message from Terra. It was a video. The young Velkari had filmed Nacho doing something cats do best. Absolutely nothing. Just lying in a sunbeam, perfectly content. The message said, "We understand now." Thank you. Jiwoo smiled and saved the video to her collection. Someday, maybe years from now, she would show this to another species, another group of aliens wondering if strength and gentleness could coexist, and she would tell them about the Velkari, about Terra and Hana and Doyen, about how an entire civilization learned to rest. The ship jumped to faster than light travel. Velkara Prime disappeared behind them, but the impact remained. Already other Federation species were asking questions, requesting videos, wanting to understand why Earth's small predators had such power to transform cultures. Captain Minho stopped by her quarters. "You know you're famous now, right? The diplomat who used cat videos for first contact. They're writing papers about you, creating new protocols based on your methods." "I didn't use a method, sir. I just shared something I loved." "That's exactly the point," Minho said. "You were authentic, human. You showed them not just our technology, but our hearts. That's what made the connection." After he left, Jiwoo pulled up her favorite video. "The one that started everything." A ginger cat trying to fit into a too small box, determined and ridiculous and perfect. She'd watched it 1,000 times. Would watch it from a small orange cat, that sometimes the strongest thing you can do is try to fit into an impossibly small space. Not because it makes sense, not because it's useful, but because it brings joy, and joy, Jiwoo had learned, was worth more than all the technology in the galaxy. It was the thing that made survival meaningful. The thing that made life more than just existence. Humans had always known this. They